Hi everyone, welcome back to No Sugar with Everything Krause.
That literally
I'm
sounded like
feeling
Tyler. That sounded like
yeah.
Tyler. That is Tyler. Like, that's not you. That is Tyler rubbing off on you.
And like
That
the
was
I
not
don't know,
you.
like the silence, like
I've like seen him do that before. And I'm pretty sure I gave him the same look that I just gave you of like, what the fuck was that?
I've picked up a lot of weird habits, and I think he has picked up a lot of weird ones as well.
Yeah. You guys
We
made each other
really
even weirder. I didn't think it could happen, but that's all that's happening.
I know, we truly feed off each other's weirdness. It like ignites a fire in another person to be weirder or something.
I know.
And
Oh
so that's just an interesting thing. But so we
my
started
god.
talking off air, and then we were like, why don't we just start recording and like put this in the episode? But we had literally were just saying this is so random, but we want to go on a hair journey and a skin journey, and that's just where we're at right now.
I just feel like we do so much to be healthy, and I'm like, why is my hair not optimal? Why is my skin not optimal? Like, what's
hmm
going on? I want to be the best in all of those things too. Like, not just in my fitness and my lifestyle. I want to be the best in them.
I
And
know, and like you always hear like your skin's a reflection of what's going on in the inside. I'm like, I don't understand then what am I doing wrong? And I do think there's a lot more that goes into it than just, okay, yeah, like I eat healthy, but I don't know, it's just like frustrating. And as we've talked about before, we are really just using beef tallow. Like that's our moisturizer. And I cleanse. I have like this Cetaphil. I think that's, I always mix it up if it's the Cetaphil or the CeraVe that I'm using, but I think it's the Cetaphil
is that clean to
cleanser.
dairy? Is that
There's
clean
not
cleanser?
really many ingredients in it. Like it's no fragrance, no color, no nothing.
Okay.
Um, and it's always the one that dermatologists give out as like like samples, literally.
Mhm.
When they're like, "Oh, here's
Right.
a cleanser," like that's what they give you the mini bottles of. That's when I first kind of started using it or was introduced to it. But my issue is now I was listening to the Skinny Confidential. She had her esthetician on, and just like hearing them talk about the importance of skincare and not every product is going to work for every person and having like a unique skincare routine and taking care of your skin for when you're older. And I'm like, am I just not doing that right now? And I'm going to regret it in the future. But like, do I need all these products? I don't know,
I know,
and
and
like,
it's
that's why
like,
I'm so stuck.
is that a scam? Like,
Yeah.
but then I'm like, I also don't think it is. Like, I okay, my skin has been very good with just beef tallow, but
Mhm.
I am like you where I'm thinking of the future and I'm like, do I need all of these products? Should I be using a vitamin C serum? Should I be
Yeah.
using retinol? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about it either though, because even if we do dabble with those products, like they're just not clean. There's
Mhm.
really not many that are clean. So I'm like, how are we going to find one that is ultimately clean? And I also, not to go on a little bit tangent, but for me, like the skincare journey, the hair journey, it is all so complicated for me. I don't know why I can't wrap my mind around it. Like it's
'Cause
literally
there's so many products that you could
there's
use.
so many products. The market is so saturated, and it just stresses me out. Like I don't know what steps I should have in my skincare routine. Like, do I need this serum? Do I need that? Like, you don't even like, I don't
Mhm.
understand what I need, what's used every day, what face mask should I be using? Like, it's just too much for me where I feel like I want to learn about podcasting. I want to learn about this. Like, I want to learn about so many other things that I'm like, I don't have time to learn about
I
skincare
know.
and every product that goes into it.
I know. I do have to say the episode that I listened to, and it was they dropped one yesterday, but it was one of their most recent ones. I really liked the woman because she was also talked a lot about like your gut health matters. Your skin is not going to be good if what you're putting in your body isn't good. And I liked hearing someone say that. And she was like, not everyone is going to be the same. So if you're going on TikTok to see what products to use, they might not work for you the same way they work for someone else because you all have different skin and
Yeah.
different things are going to work. And then I feel like a lot of people say this, but she was like one product I feel like is vitamin C that she said. And we were on our vitamin C game, but then I got off of it because I was like, am I using too many products? And she doesn't really love retinol that much. So I was like, that's interesting. So it's just a good episode. I feel like that's a good
Yeah.
recommendation for people.
No,
It
that is
also
good.
made me want to go do some research and find like a really good esthetician just to ask. Like she was like, she helps people get on a skincare journey very specific to them. And she was like, I do a full scan of you. I ask you about your diet, your lifestyle, everything. And that's my biggest worry is like I'll go to a dermatologist or something and they'll just want to give me like tretinoin or something for my skin. And
Yeah.
that's not what I want. Like I don't want a
Yeah, like
steroid for my skin.
no. Well, that's what I like that. I like that episode. I'm gonna listen to it because of you're right. Like her mentioning the health shows that like it's that, but maybe you should have skincare steps too. And like just because we are eating healthy doesn't mean like we're gonna be fine in the future. So I don't know. That just paints the perspective as it's both. You need to have a
Mhm.
balance.
Exactly.
I'm worried though. Like I don't know. Like when we were using our vitamin C serum, it wasn't even am I using too much product? It was what is in this product that I'm using. Like,
Mhm.
I feel so good knowing that, yes, I don't have a skincare routine right now, but knowing that the only thing that has been on my face is beef tallow, and I had no and I haven't had to worry about it. Like, I'm like, okay, then I'm doing good. Like, that's another thing where I'm just like checking off the boxes of no fragrances, nothing going into my skin.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I don't,
She
like, I
did
don't want to
mention
dabble.
I was driving when I was listening to it, so I couldn't, like, write down, and I honestly, like, wanna go back and listen while taking notes to some things, but she mentioned, like, a couple brands that she was like, "And these are, like, clean ingredient, like, clean skincare." So I was like, "Okay, this woman's good," because 1, I feel like if Lauren's going to her, Lauren is all about that, like, she doesn't want bullshit either.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Okay, I feel like she's a good guide." This woman, even just to follow her on social media, it doesn't mean I'm gonna go book, like, a virtual appointment with her. Like, maybe I'll try and get in because she
Yeah.
does virtual consultations. So she's like, "I'll work with people and put them on a skincare routine, and I'll meet with them, like, once a year, and then we'll, like, re-rack the routine like, based on what they saw improvement in and whatnot." So I was like, "Okay, maybe I'll get in line." But now that the episode dropped, I'm like, "I'm sure your DMs are flooded."
Yeah, I'm sure. That's what I think I'm leaning towards. I think I just need a skincare coach and a hair coach.
Mhm.
Like,
I
'cause I'm
know.
not gonna learn it. Realistically, I'm not gonna learn it on an esthetician level, and that's the level I wanna know it on.
Yeah, I know. And the hair
So,
journey is just, like, a whole new thing, and
my
it's also hard because everything is honestly so expensive when it comes to makeup, skincare, hair care. It's like it's very hard to find inexpensive quality things, which I respect the price if it's good quality. I get that
absolutely.
you need to make money and if you're spending a lot on ingredients, but it's just hard for me to prioritize that when I'm like, "Okay, I'd rather spend money on getting Mountain Valley water, or I'd rather spend money
Yeah,
on getting beef tallow and vitamins and heart and soil supplements," whatever it is that I'm buying
yeah.
in that sense.
I was gonna
So
say, like, I understand the price completely, like you said, but I agree, it's just it's not that big of a priority for me, and it feels silly spending money on something that I'm, like, not that even passionate
mhm,
about or don't understand much. So that's why I'm like, "Ugh," like, it just feels like almost like empty money. Like, when I get my nails done, I'm like, "Alright, like,
I know.
I don't need that," and part of me is like, I don't know, like, people say spend your money on your appearance because when you look better, you feel better, and you operate better, but I'm like, that's not directly affecting me. I don't know. Maybe it is.
I
Maybe it
know,
is.
but I feel like it may be I don't know, it's a very complicated, like, battle I have in my mind, honestly, and I wasn't
I
gonna listen to the episode because I was like, "Well, I don't do skincare," and I'm like, "Let me just hear what she has to say, like, maybe she'll leave some tips," and yeah, it was really good. I definitely recommend that episode. She was super cool too, like, really
yeah.
easy. Like, listening to her was super easy, and she seems like an awesome person, so
Yeah, you're gonna I'll have to listen to that.
yeah,
One
it's a good
one
one.
more comment about the hair journey.
Let's hear it.
My no, just because my biggest problem, which just came up in my head, is that I have an obsession with feeling clean, and I literally can't not shampoo my hair every single day, and I know how bad that is. I know. My hairdresser, Joseph, literally not Joseph, our brother, hairdresser Joseph, literally always is, like, yelling at me and is like, "You just need to rip off the Band-Aid and do it," but, like, I can't bear the greasy look of my hair. Like, it actually drives me up a wall.
So, I was listening to another podcast with a kinesthesiologist or something on there, or maybe I think it was her, and it was The Blonde Files, so also a Dear Media podcast,
They're
and she was
pumping them
talking
out.
about yeah, she was talking about she was like, it's fake, like, you can wash your hair every day." She's like, "I might do, like, every other day," but she's like, "If I have events multiple days in a row and I know that my hair looks best when I'm shampooing and conditioning it, like, I'm gonna do that." I think it's okay.
Yeah.
And they like study the scalp and the science behind like hair production and maybe why you have psoriasis on your scalp or flaky scalp, all that stuff. So that was just interesting to hear. I do think it comes down to a lot of like your products that you use. And another thing is just like the inside and like your hormones, I think have a lot
I
to do with
know.
hair. So that's why I'm like, when I get hormonal acne, I'm like, yeah, maybe my hair journey has gotten better. And I'm like, oh, because I've really worked on my hormones. But then I'm like, actually, have I? Because I still break out. I still have issues on my chin, which is like directly correlated to hormones.
Yeah.
I could
No, I
talk about
definitely
this for literally an hour because
lit
it's just all consuming in my mind
well,
sometimes.
I know, and I feel like I'm like, I don't know if I'm exactly following hormones. Like, my shampoo is not hormone friendly, and I know that. My shampoo is
Mhm.
probably the one thing I need to fix because,
'Cause I
like,
don't I don't shampoo that often, so I've never honestly paid attention to the shampoo I was buying, and in Naples, I did, like, I had Olaplex, and I'm like, I honestly don't even feel like I need Olaplex because I saw something, and I was like, "It's better for colored hair," and I'm like, "I don't color my hair."
yeah.
But, when I came home, I literally just started using the random shampoo that I had, and it lasts me so long because I don't shampoo that often, and I'm like, "What the heck am I using?" Like, why
Yeah, that's
don't
why I'm like,
I don't
but we
understand. I'm like, "This has
like,
a
we don't
scent."
use perfumes, we don't use perfumes, we don't use skincare, we don't use all that, so, like, we have to follow through with that in the shower.
Yeah, so if
So
anyone
that's
has, like, good shampoo that they really like and it's fragrance free, please let us know because I'm really intrigued by other people.
well,
Julia,
'cause it's the things our
our
like that
sister
could be sorry.
no, it's okay. Our sister-in-law, Julia, she said she just got the Necessaire shampoo, and it's, like, no fragrance or anything, so I was thinking of trying that out. I've seen that a lot with influencers, so I feel like it could be good, I don't know. You just can't always
Yeah,
trust, like, what other people are getting, but she
I
seems to like
know.
it, so I don't know.
It's so frustrating.
It is
Just
so
because that's a prime example of, like, you're wondering why you're still getting hormonal acne. Well, it literally could be the very few times that you shampoo once a
Mhm.
month. Like, it could be something as small as that.
I know.
So, it's pissing me off.
It's a journey, and we're not perfect as much as we preach, like, healthy eating and clean ingredients that way, we also don't have everything figured out in the
Yeah,
health
like,
world because there's just so much to
there's so
consume.
much.
There's so much to learn, and it's a lot. We're, like, constantly being inundated by products.
I literally looked over at my dish soap the other day and, like, sent a picture to you, Kateria, because I was, like, washing dishes, and I was like, "I got this clean, like, Everspring, no fragrance free, like, just great dish soap that I was excited to use." I got it for the entire apartment, and we've all been using it, and I look over at the bottle, and it literally has, like, palm kernel oil in it, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Now I'm washing my dishes with seed oils," when you guys know me, like, I'm so strict on that, like, they do not go into my body, and all along, it's been going in my body on my dishes.
Mhm.
I got so mad when I saw that, and I was like, "It's literally you can't win. You cannot win."
I know, it's also funny, like, they put it in a product that you're using to clean something, and then they put it in food that you're eating. So it's
Yep.
like,
So it's like
what
you
is
can
it?
soup
What is it? An
exactly,
emulsifier or is it food?
exactly. Great point, Terry.
I know. Whew, now it's got me fired up. The topic has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but
But we
we just
were
had to
literally
get that off our
rambling.
chest.
Yeah.
I just
I
think today's episode's all about honesty and us being honest and confronting
yeah, this is a
ourselves.
very it is, it very much is. We're breaking down every flaw that we have right now. No, not every flaw. Just cut that
Yeah.
out.
Okay, so that's enough on the skincare and hair care topic. We can definitely dive back into that maybe when we have some new revelations on it.
We look
But
great though, like, look.
I'm definitely looking way better than I did last episode. And if you listened to that last episode, you know I was going through it
Where are my
visually.
eyes? My eyes are I literally was just up against the camera. My eyes are slits.
You look beautiful, sister.
Thanks, sister.
Okay, so today's episode, we want to talk all about productivity. And I think everyone can agree that being productive is extremely important, no matter what you're doing, what career you have. I think it's just important in life in general. But it is something that we both struggle with a lot. I feel like we literally have a conversation almost every day about it with each other. And I mean, that should say something. It should also maybe like ding dong, Tyrion as well. Wake up if you're having the same conversation. But it's hard and it seems to become a harder of a battle. And I feel like we're hyping it up a lot and making it harder for ourselves, all the things. So we just want to talk about it. And open up and be honest about where we are and kind of the tips that we can give you that we're giving ourselves to get back on track with certain things.
Right now, how I feel, maybe I think you feel similar, Kateri, is there's 24 hours in a day and I'm not utilizing the hours well enough, is how I feel. Like there's a lot of different things on my plate and a lot of different things I want to be achieving. And I feel like I'm just not, like I said, utilizing the time right to get as much done as I can. And it's leading to slower results, maybe no results. It's leading to procrastination, like putting off work, resistance to doing certain work. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe how I feel. I just don't feel like I'm being the most productive. And I think I will say, I know Kateri and I are naturally efficient people. Like we are efficient, Kateri, but I think we're so hard on ourselves that like we're not efficient enough. We're not efficient at the level that we want to be efficient at. Whereas, if some people were to see us like, yeah, we are efficient. I get a lot done in my day. I know you get a lot done in your day. But it's just not enough for me because I have certain goals that I want to reach. And in order to get them, I need to be maximizing my time. And I'm just not. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe that was too vague. Maybe that was too bold, but I don't
No,
know.
it 100% makes sense. And time is so, so valuable. Talk to any successful person. You can't buy time. It's like the one thing that once it's gone, it's gone. So you really have to seize like every minute of the day. And Tyler always says this to me. He's like, you are way too hard on yourselves when it comes to being productive. Like you act like you do nothing and you lay around all day. I don't remember the last time you've just laid around all day. And I'm like, but I'm not doing enough where it's fueling me to feel satisfied. And I saw a Instagram reel the other day and it was Stephen Graham. He was on, or I guess Grant Cardone was on his podcast, but he was asking Grant Cardone, what would you tell someone who's unhappy in their life and they're just not feeling fulfilled? And he literally was like, I would tell them to work on their productivity and how much they're providing to people and being able to give back to the community. And I do feel like productivity and giving back kind of go hand in hand, because if I'm being productive in work, I'm in a sense giving back and I'm providing to the community because I'm doing the work, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's just so funny because when I don't feel productive, I feel unhappy. Like when I'm not getting all the things I want to get done, I am unhappy because I'm beating myself up. I'm worried. I'm like, what the heck? Why aren't I seeing results? And I feel unhappy. I'm like, whoa, I never realized that they had such a correlation, but really is true.
That's honestly a great point. I never thought about it like that either.
I know.
But like I feel unhappy when I'm not productive. I beat myself up. I literally text you and I'm like, I'm literally so frustrated with myself. I don't know why I didn't get this done today. I don't know where my time went. I don't know how this happened. And even like pointing off of what Tyler said, like it's so funny because I relate to that. I personally can't let myself relax. Like I feel so guilty for a day of relaxation. And I think it's because we don't feel fulfilled from our productivity before. Like if I had an extremely productive day in a way that I wanted to, and we got everything done that we wanted to get done, then the next day I would feel a lot better laying on the couch all day. But because we aren't being like we're not maximizing our productivity, it's like leading over into the next day, I feel like. And it's just this constant cycle of like, okay, well, you're never going to be able to relax because you never are getting it done. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I feel like that's why I get so mad, because like there are times I want to relax, but I mentally can't even allow myself to, because I'm like, you weren't even the most productive yesterday. Like, does that make sense? I don't know.
No, it does. And it's funny because I don't even think for us a relaxing day would be laying on the couch all day. That's like,
Yeah, no.
when I mean
I've
like
never
laying
done
on the
that
couch,
before.
I mean like watching a whole movie and not feeling like I should be doing something else.
Yeah, literally.
If you own a company and you're not producing a podcast, you're missing out. The public consumes messaging when they're ready. Join the professional podcast network of companies and let Jacob Media Partners put you in the podcast arena. Come to our professional studio, or we'll come to your place of business and professionally produce your company podcast. Call Jacob Media right now at 267-261-3428. 267-261-3428.
Well, and about the happiness thing, like productivity leads to happiness. The reason I feel like that's so true too in my life is because I'm productive in a sense, right? Like I have work right now, I have school, and I have EK no sugar. Those are my three kind of and fitness. Those are my four pillars, I would say, in my day. That's a lot to balance. And I feel like I'm productive in a sense with my health. I always show up for my health and I'm happy about that. Like I'm never frustrated with that. I always show up for school. I always get my work done. And sometimes I'm not that productive with work, but I always get the job done by the end of the week. Like that's that. Where I'm lacking is my productivity in no sugar and everything Krause, my number one passion. And because I'm not productive in there, I think that's why it's leading to the most unhappiness with or being angry with myself during the day, because that's where I want to be the most productive. But it's also where I have the most flexibility because it's my clock, not anyone else's clock. So that's why sometimes, like, if I have a really long day, like, I don't want to put in the work at night, and I don't because it's my choice. And that's what kind of scares me. But I feel like that's why I'm like, no, we are productive, but maybe that's what's fueling our unhappiness and these feelings of productivity is because we're not being productive in what we want to be productive in.
That was a really good point. I never thought about it as like those are the decisions you're making on your own time. The work you're
Yeah.
doing is the work you're choosing to do based on your own guidance, right? Or what I say, like, let's do this, right? Not what someone else is, not what a professor is or your boss is telling you to do. And it's kind of a hard balance knowing, okay, if that's your number one, and for me, it's of course my number one, but then I have other things for work to do, and I might be teaching at the studio and I want to do social media for them. It's being able to decide like what is more important and should these all be intertwined throughout the day? Like, should I just make my to-do list based on the like most important to least important, no matter if it goes in a million different directions, because one might be work and one might be school and one might be EK, no sugar. Like, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm trying to figure out is if I should just intertwine them.
Yeah. And see, I've thought about that too. I don't know if you operate like this. I just can't. I don't want this to sound like an excuse, which it always sounds like an excuse to me. And that's why I get so frustrated. But I just can't like n- allow myself to work on no sugar or EK because maybe because it's social media. Maybe it feels like I'm like scrolling my phone. I'm not sure. I can't allow myself to work on it when I have like a paper due. Like I rather just, and even if the paper's due like at the end of the week, which is so stupid of me because Isabel, like sometimes I feel like I try to get all my work done at once and then like I'm done it all and I'm like, wait, wow, like you had 3 more days to do all that. Like
Mhm.
you didn't need to go that crazy, but like I hate having deadlines and like I just want to get my stuff done. So when I have a paper, even if it's due Friday, like I can't work on EK and no sugar until that paper's done. It's just how my mind works. I'm like, I want to have that like off my chest. So then I
Mhm.
can freely work on EK and spend exactly how much time I want on it instead of having like a timer set. I don't know. So that's why I don't intertwine in my day. And I'm like, maybe that's the wrong way to go about it. Like
Yeah.
maybe it feels like the wrong way to go about it because it's leading me to this discussion right here.
Mhm.
So it's definitely not working. And I don't know.
But then I feel like it's still you have to figure out a good balance because like you don't want to feel like your day is super chaotic. I feel like if you're working on so many different things instead of just like focusing on school, getting that done and then moving on to the next, it'll never feel like you're wrapping stuff up and that might cause like more cortisol spikes and everything and
Yeah.
just talking about our hormones, like that's important too. So it's this is another thing that it's just not something I've figured out a good routine for me, or I don't know if it's maybe I haven't figured out my work style, but like I'll get work done throughout the day and then it gets to like 4:45 and I feel this panic of oh my god, there's still so much I wanted to do today or so much I have to get done. And I'll be able to like I would be able to go into like grind mode, but then it's 5 p.m. All of a sudden mom's coming home shortly. She gets home, I want to go on a walk, right? Like and then it's dinner. So it's like that's not the time that I should be putting in like the grind time. Like why couldn't I have done this like motivational like 2 hours in the middle of the day, right? Like why
All
do
I'm
I get this
hearing.
burst of freaking energy at 5 p.m. as opposed to noon?
Yeah. That's annoying. Well, and it's frustrating because like all I'm hearing right now, literally all I'm hearing right now is like, that's the woman in you. Like when mom comes home, I want you to have the joy of like tasting sourdough with her and going to yoga and going on walks. Like that's fun. Going to TJ Maxx with her. That's the woman in us. That's the feminine side. And that's what makes it so hard because it's like, yeah, we could grind all night, but I don't want to. Like I don't want to sometimes. And I don't feel like I need to. Like that's the balance of that's the struggle I feel like in my head of I want to be a woman, but I also have these really big goals and my feminine side stops me from like being able to put in the grit, like long 18-hour days of work to get it done because I don't want to do that. I never
I
want to
know.
do that. Like I don't know. That was random going off of that, but it just like was so evident to me there. Like, yeah, like I don't think you should be missing out on doing those things with
I
mom. Like
know.
that's why we're so close to mom. That's like our enjoyment of the day.
I
So it's
know.
annoying because then you start beating yourself up for it, but it's like now you're taking away from the fun moments you are having with mom. And that's why it's so frustrating, is because it's just like overall going like it's overall bad. Like because we're not productive, it's affecting so many different parts of our day and our life. And
Yeah,
it
like I
just pisses
probably
me off.
would be able to enjoy those moments with mom a little bit more if I just like got my shit done during the day. And like it's not that I'm not getting shit done, but also another thing, I want to be able to like me and mom just finished Suits. So we're officially done with our show, which honestly kept us in a loophole for a while because it's 9 seasons.
That's crazy. I
I
can't
know.
believe you guys finished that.
I know, I'm so proud of us. I, like, had seen the first 4 seasons, I think, 3 times, but I had never got past season 4, so I'm really, really proud of us. But
Yeah.
anyway, I, like, think about those moments with mom and us sitting on the couch and laughing and singing the theme song and doing all that, and I'm like, "I'm not gonna have these moments forever." Like, there's gonna come a time when I'm gonna move out, and then I'm gonna be married, and I'm gonna have my own kids. So, I'm trying to cherish those moments, but I'm like, "Is that an excuse?" Because if mom heard this, she would be like, "I don't wanna be the one to hold you back. What are you doing?" But it's not I don't see her as her
No,
holding
it's
me
not
back,
mom.
right? Like,
It's
yeah,
like it's the
it
enjoyment that you get. Like you want to be doing that. I
exactly.
know I
Like,
do.
my mom is my best friend. I enjoy being with her and doing all these things, and I value our time together immensely. So, maybe I just must have to get mom in on the business more.
Yeah. Just let's make her our manager. I think
Yeah.
mom needs to be our manager anyway.
Mhm.
Um, and
Momager,
then and
Kris
another
Jenner alert.
literally she'll be a better Kris Jenner. Sorry, Kris Jenner, but you haven't met Virginia Krause yet.
Literally.
Um, Another thing, like just going off of that, because I feel like not really going off of that, it's just on my mind right now, is I get so mad because I like to think that we are really efficient and productive people. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, that we are. We are efficient and productive. So this little knock is like not allowing me to think that we are. And it feels like, I don't know, like it just like knocks me down from my stool a bit. I feel like, because
Mhm.
I'm like, huh, like you're not the best. Not that I'm not the best. I don't mean that in the sense, but I mean like you're not like operating the best you could be. There's room left on the table and
Mhm.
you're just leaving it there. And I just get mad. I'm like, huh, like I say I want all these things, yet I'm not doing the things to get there. I'm not
Yeah.
putting in the work. And it ultimately just turns into anger towards myself. Like I
Mhm.
literally get so frustrated with myself. I don't
Well, I
know.
feel like that's why we are bringing this up right now too, because me and Isabel have been having conversations about it so much. Like, this is one of my main priorities to work on in the new year, and
Mhm.
I wanna approach it now and have a conversation about it now because I don't want it to become January 1st and me feel, like, overwhelmed by setting goals and intentions and what do we wanna do. I wanna kind of start thinking about what I wanna do now so that when the new year comes, I'm more excited for it and I don't get overwhelmed and inundated by, like, everything everyone else is doing, and I can focus on me. So, like, that's also why I feel like it's so good to get all of this off our chest and out and just
Yeah, I feel like I'm ranting to you guys right
I know, but even,
now.
like, I started listening to the growth episode because I have been kind of feeling down about myself in that department, and it was exactly what I needed to hear going into the new year, and I already started setting some intentions based on growth for the new year, and now I'm doing the same with productivity and kind of working hard and all of that. Like, it's fueling the fire, so it's helping me feel, like, a little more at ease and a little more organized in my mind, as weird as
Yeah.
that sounds. But, you know, I feel like it's just a good thing to talk about because it can help even listeners. Like, if you're listening to this and, like, I feel the same way, like, let's change that for ourselves. Like, we
Yeah.
don't
And
have
like
to live like this for another year, and I've been hearing this quote a lot recently, and I feel like I'm hearing it for a reason. If you don't plan, you plan to fail. And that has been my biggest, like, what's it called?
Wow.
Yeah. Like, if you're
Thought of
not
the day.
planning, yeah.
Thought of the day. I'm
If
writing
you're
that.
not if you're not planning, you're planning to fail, and it's so true. If you don't, like, when me and you don't plan what we're posting for the week, we're not gonna post enough that week,
Yeah.
and in our eyes, we failed. And it's
Mhm.
like, if we had just taken time to plan it, we wouldn't feel like failures, and we would just get it done and feel super productive. So, I'm taking that saying, and that's also like, I've been literally hearing it so much recently and seeing it. I'm like, "Whoa, this is like my sign that I have to be a better planner." Because I'm always like, when I
Yeah.
first started dating Tyler, I'm like, "My family's not planners. We just kinda like go on the whim and do things." And I'm like,
Yeah, we
there's
really
certain
don't.
things in life you can plan, Kateri. Not
Yeah.
everything needs to be like, "Oh, yep, we're doing this now." Like, certain
Mhm.
things should be planned, and that's what I'm trying to.
No, you're
We could
so
go on a
right.
whole 'nother tangent about planning, but we're not
You're so
going to.
but it's true, like, I just feel like if you planned everything, and it doesn't even need to be everything, but if I did plan what I was going to do for EK and no sugar that day, even knowing I had all that schoolwork, knowing if I did plan that, then I would get it done, and then I
Mhm.
would feel productive. Like, when you have a plan in motion, it's going to get done. Sometimes I do feel like there are times where I'm like, "This is on my to-do list today," and I still don't do it, and then I get even more frustrated with myself, so maybe that causes some resistance to planning. Like, sometimes I don't like planning because I don't like to set unrealistic expectations and then not meet them and then fail. And then I
Yeah.
feel like I failed myself again. So maybe like I also struggle with that. Like I don't love having my to-do list because I don't almost want to face what I have to do today.
Yeah.
Which
No, I
is
totally
right
understand.
that right there is like, Isabel, you just gotta get over the hump. You gotta get over this resistance and just do it. Like do the shit you don't want to do. And I get so mad because like I do the shit I don't want to do every single day. It's just when I get home from classes at 8 p.m. and I did all of my workouts, all of my Lagos work, all of my schoolwork. Now I have 2 hours until 10 p.m. to work on EK and no sugar. That's exhausting. That's
Mhm.
literally exhausting. Like I just want to lay on the couch and watch a Hallmark movie.
Yeah. I know.
Like, oh
Isabel
God.
Isabel
I'm
is
literally
literally obsessed with Hallmark.
I am obsessed with Hallmark. Side note, I'm a proud Hallmark watcher. And the reason I can say that is because I don't think people have enough simplicity in their life. Like that movie, I know the plot line, I know how it's going to end. I know it's always going to be a happy ending. I don't need any more stress in my life. I don't need TV to bring stressful things to me. Like Black Mirror, I could never watch that. I don't want stress. I just want pure enjoyment. That's why I
Mhm.
watch TV. And that's what Hallmark brings me.
Yeah, no,
So,
that's so true. So kind of going off what you were saying about the list, I feel like this could be a good tip for people, and it's kind of what I wanna start doing. If you're making a to-do list for the day or even for the week or something, start focusing on writing out the most important things that you need to get done, and maybe even like writing out the most time consuming things. Because if it's the most time consuming and then it's also one of the most important, like, to focus on that first. Because if you get that done, you'll be able to like actually focus on the other things instead of having that way over your head.
mm,
So I don't know, I love making lists, and like you said, there's some things on my list that, like, I'll end up pushing for towards the next day, and it's like, maybe it's because I had it at the top of my list, but it wasn't number 1 priority, but it could have gotten done. But then I
yeah,
started focusing on everything else that seemed more top priority, and that got lost in the X's because
yeah.
it was at the top of my list. Like, you shouldn't have put it there.
Hmm.
So, I feel like rearranging how you write out a to-do list could be really helpful. Just, like, even psychologically visualizing it in a different way might be a little more manageable, and that's kinda
Well,
what I'm noticing for myself as might be a big issue.
no, that's a great pointer because I'm realizing right now that like when I write to-do lists, I don't write it in the order that it should be done. And I think that's really important because that is why sometimes I get to the end of the day and I have like the bigger assignments or, create 4 reels for no sugar. And I don't have that much brain power by the end of the day. Like my brain's kind of beat. But if I had put that on the top of the list, like I would have gotten the most pressing and the most like the things that needed the most brain power done. So I
Yeah.
like that rearranging your to-do list to be how you should be completing the tasks
Yeah,
in
because then
that
it
exact order.
yeah, exactly. Then it's like an order you follow, and it's just like a checklist. Like, if you were going to bake cookies, you wouldn't start by adding the chocolate chips first, right? You're gonna start
Yeah.
by doing the butter and the sugar, and that's you're going to go in an order. So that's kind of how I'm like, oh wait, maybe I should do the same exact thing for the things I have to get done during the day. It's
I
like, don't
love
try and do
that.
the last step first.
Wow, I really, really like that.
Me too. It all like just came to me as I was thinking this.
Oh my God, I'm so gonna do that. That's definitely a big problem for me.
Yeah.
That's a big problem for me. I've never organized. I've never completed a to-do list in the order from top to bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
See,
always like middle, top, bottom, all over the place.
that begs the question of like, how do I figure out what is the top? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I guess I really have to sit with my tasks and see what matters. But I'm such like a subject-based person. Like, school done, work
Well,
done,
and
and I
that's
can't
okay
be
though.
that way.
But if that's how you operate though, and you're like, okay, maybe my paper's not due to Friday, but it's a decently sized paper, I'm gonna put this as top priority. And if you know it doesn't take you that long, like, okay, then that's done. You
Mhm.
know, if you're like, let me just bang it out right now, so then I free up more space in my to-do list for throughout the rest of the week, like, okay, it's okay if it maybe doesn't take you the longest, but it's still something that has a due date by the end of the week.
Yeah. No, you're right. I need to go back on that because I'm just saying this so you can hear this, Kateri, because this is, sorry guys, it's kind of relevant to only Kateri and I. But the problem with that, Kateri, is like, so last night I banged out like 3 papers last night. That was a lot. I have 1 more paper due Friday. I'm going to plan on doing it all tonight. So it's like, okay, I got all my schoolwork done. I can utilize Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for EK and no sugar. The problem with that is EK and no sugar are an everyday thing. Social media is an everyday thing. Like,
Mhm.
so then I get caught up in the fact of, oh, well, now I'm thinking of posting on Wednesday, but what happened to like the Friday through Tuesday that I did schoolwork? Like, what happened to those days that I could have done work on no sugar? And that's my problem, because I feel like it's almost something that needs to be worked on every day. Maybe I need to start utilizing like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to like content bulk.
Mhm.
But it's also hard because then my hours are during the day for work, and then it's like it's so dark at night that I literally can't
At
film
4 PM.
I can't film any content past 4 PM, and I'm like, what? Like,
Dude, like, all content creators must hate that it gets dark so early.
I've
It
literally
sucks.
never felt it more in my life. Like, I can't do anything. There's no natural lighting. I can't even film like in my room because I'm like, ew, like this yellow overhead light looks terrible. Like,
Yeah.
I just know it'll be better tomorrow during the daylight. That
Yeah.
was random, but
No,
that's
but
the thought I've been having about.
and that just goes to show our listeners, like, this is kind of what me and Isabel go through, and it's not an excuse for anything. It's just like the behind the scenes of not being perfect and still trying to figure our shit out, no matter how many years into EK we are, and no matter if we are a year into no sugar, like, it's really still such an adjustment for us. So that's stuff that me and you need to figure out personally and really work on together as a unit. And I feel like we both kind of know that, and we are excited for it. You know, it makes me
Yeah.
want to like end this recording and start going. You know, like, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
So everything just needs to be taken one day at a time. Remind yourself that as well. My boyfriend, amazing Tyler, he told me that last night, and I was like, it's so simple, but it's so true. Like, I was getting super anxious about all the traveling I had coming in the new year, and like just all these different things I wanted to do, and how was I going to balance it all? And he was like, take it one day at a time. Like, you can't tackle what you're going to be doing a month from now, because it's a month. You have a month until then. So why are you
Mhm.
going to worry about now? I'm like, it's so true. So you just have to take
No,
everything
that's a great point.
one day at a time and just go from there.
Well, and we really are the type of people to not do that.
Mhm.
Like, not that I don't take it one day at a time, but like, I notice that I'm not being productive and like, I want to fix it now. Like,
Yeah.
I need to fix it now. What should I do? Like, that's
Yeah.
the type, instead of being like, okay, like I can incrementally learn how to be more productive. Where like, no, we want to like fix it overnight, which can be a kind of a toxic environment. So I'm happy that he said that, because it is true.
Yeah.
I do have another pointer. That's something that worked for me and kind of like lit a fire under my ass, I would say, the other day. Was this past weekend, my cousin said something to me, and it was a really powerful line. And I'm just going to say it so you guys understand like what the line is, and then I'll kind of give you the pointer. He told me, when I was talking about productivity and I was telling him how I feel like I'm juggling so many different things, I'm just not putting in the work to specifically EK no sugar, and I'm not getting where I want to be. And he told me, in a year from now, which this is so simple, I've heard this line before, but it hit different. He said, in a year from now, you can be where you want to be. You can show up for yourself every single day. You can create a syllabus for EK No Sugar. You can get all this stuff done. And then in a year, you will be where you want to be and you'll feel great. Or you will be in this exact same position, probably looking for a job because EK No Sugar is not where it wants to be yet. You keep saying, oh, you have big things for EK No Sugar, but it's not going to be there yet. So you're going to be looking for a job, and then you're still going to be having these feelings of what you should be doing for EK No Sugar. What spot do you want to be in? That's what he asked me. And I was like, well, obviously I want to be in the spot of EK No Sugar being where I want it to be. And he said, okay, then you have to put in the work to get there. So every single time that you feel resistance towards doing the work, that you don't want to do that work at 8 p.m., you don't feel like making those 4 reels, think, where do I want to be in a year? Do I want to be having these feelings that have been weighing on me the past 2 weeks? Because these feelings suck. I hate thinking this way. Like, I'm done with it. It's so negative in my life. It's the one negative that brings me down. I don't want these feelings anymore. I refuse to have them anymore. So that kind of lights a fire under my ass every time I think of that. When I am feeling resistant, like I just feel myself being like, okay, no, like just do the work. And the reason I share that is because I feel like everyone needs some kind of motivation, some kind of line, some kind of why like that to get them going, to push them through the hard moments. Like, you're always going to have resistance. You're always going to have to do something that you don't want to do. And there needs to be something that you can fall back on to push you through it. Otherwise, you're just relying on like your own self. And most of the time, naturally, you're going to be lazy and given. Like, so if you don't have that why, like there is no reason for you to do it.
Exactly. No, that's a great point. And that even just helps, I feel like, combating self-doubt or not having confidence. Like, if we are ever doubting what we're doing with No Sugar or EK, if we're putting in the work, all we have to do is turn to everything that we've done and be like, nope, we do deserve this and we are doing good because look at all the shit we're doing. Look at all the work we're putting in. Like, we are deserving of what we're doing because we're actually doing the work that we need to get there. So it helps, I feel like, build up that confidence and kind of kick the self-doubt just like away from you.
Definitely. I feel like that's why Kateri, we have some feelings of self-doubt. I'm like, maybe Kateri and I have never showed up for EK No Sugar in the way that we've wanted to, ever, I would say. Before, I mean, we've gotten better, but ever in the intensity that we've wanted to. And I think that's why we feel self-doubt. Versus if we were showing up every single day how we wanted to, we would feel a lot better and be like, no, yeah, this is going to grow up. This is going to blow up. It's going to grow. Like,
it's going to grow up.
Yeah.
Our child is going to grow up and leave the home. Leave the nest.
I wonder how rapid this sounds for you guys. I'm like, EK No Sugar.
I know. Like, to me, I hear it and I process it immediately. Like, it's an immediate process in my brain, but
because it's just, those terms are literally, I think, the most common thing we say to each other.
Yeah, like engraved in there. EK and NS.
Yeah,
NS doesn't flow like EK.
I don't like NS. No sugar, no sugar.
Nis.
No sugar, no sugar, no sugar, mama.
Crunk it louder.
I'm even like dreading ending this because now I feel like I should be doing work, and I'm like,
we're gonna get to it. So anyway, this was a very productive episode.
Yeah, it was kind of a little bit of a ramble, of rant, I would say.
Yes, I was literally thinking, I'm like, what are we gonna title this episode? I'm like, honesty rant, productivity rant.
Yeah, like, but I feel like we want, like, that's what I wanted it to be, because productivity is clearly something we don't have figured out. So we don't have the advice or the clear mindset on it. It's more of just, is anyone else having these feelings? We want you to know that, like, we're having them too. It's making us feel this way. I hope it's relatable. Like, that's what I want.
This is our cry for help. If you know how to help us, help us.
I really want a business coach, please.
Yeah. Okay, so to wrap it all up and tie it in a bow, we hope you guys
in the spirit of the holiday season.
Yes. We hope you enjoyed this episode and could just feel some comfort in it and our honesty and just kind of opening up about this. We were scared to talk about it for so long because I don't think we wanted to confront how we were truly feeling, and that, like, honestly, it's all our own faults. There's no one else to blame other than ourselves.
It's literally simply our own faults, and that's why it's so hard to confront.
Exactly. So we just hope you got some value from this, and if you are in the same position as we are, feel free to reach out to us in a week from now and 2 weeks from now, asking maybe what we've done, what we've changed. Of course, we always want to update you guys. And if you found something that's worked for you, like, share that with us. You know, we're two young girls just trying to figure it out too. So definitely don't be afraid to reach out to us and let us know. And if there's a friend you feel like could benefit from this, definitely send it their way before the new year happens, so you can kind of get on top of what you really want to focus on in the new year before the new year happens.
Exactly. Let's stay ahead of the game. Let's be productive.
Yeah. If you don't plan, you plan to fail.
Period.
This is the quote. When you fail to this is like the full thing. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
I like yours better.
Me too. I don't know what I
Just
said,
because
but
just because if you fail to plan, but I'm not failing to, I don't know. I just don't like that.
okay.
I like yours better. Yours was more crisp.
I'm more philosophical.
Anyway, you all know what to do. Like, subscribe, follow, comment, interact with us, please. We love you. You love us. Let's continue to build each other up and grow on this journey of life.
Exactly. I would love everyone who's listening audio, go on our YouTube and only watch what I do during that, because whenever Israel's doing that, I'm making the craziest hand gestures and dancing, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot I'm on video.
I don't think I've ever noticed that. I literally don't know if I look at you, Kateri.
Oh, lovely.
I don't know if I look at you when you're talking, but then when it comes down to when I'm talking, I just read the no sugar label.
Yeah. That's good though. That keeps your eyes up.
Really? Because they look like slits right now. They're like
that's not what I mean.
Clothes.
But okay. Anyway, everyone.
Anywho, have a great rest of your week.
Yes. We hope you have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next time.